Hi and welcome to another Unity tutorial. In this video I will teach you how to make a circular selection menu in Unity. First of all, we need to add a UI button. Right click in the hierarchy, UI, and add a button. Adjust the position and then rename it. Now we need to remove text game object because we will need an image to display icon. So right click, UI, image, name it icon. Now we need to add a sprite from sprite folder to the button. I have already made this in Adobe Illustrator. Resize it as you like. And then we need to add sprite to the icon and adjust the size. Now select the button and duplicate it 7 times. Rename each button as you like. We need to add a game manager game object. So create empty, then game manager, reset transform. Now in the scripts folder, we have 2 scripts. Assign the selection to the game manager. Select all buttons. Let's assign the item scripts to all buttons and then select all the buttons. We need to change color for highlight. Also for selected. And that's it. Now we need to create scripts, selection and items. First of all, open the selection script using Unity Engine UI, and we need execute in edit mode. So execute in edit mode. We need an array of buttons. So public button buttons. Also we need a radius value to make circle bigger or smaller. So public float radius and center offset. So public vector to center offset equal vector to 0. So we will need 2 methods. So void onValidate and void arrange buttons in circle. So basically this method will be called in the start and onValidate. So we need to remove update. We don't need it. So here will be arrange, and also here so each time we change a value it will update the circle. Now we need to check if there is any button to arrange. So if buttons is null or button length is equal 0, return. Then we need to calculate angle between each button, and we will do this by dividing 360 degrees by the number of the buttons. So float angle increment equal 360 divided by buttons length. Now we need to loop through each button. So for int I equal and I is as button length. So if button is null, we skip it. So if button, if buttons null, continue. Then for each button, we calculate its angle based on its position in the array. So float angle equal I equal multiplied by angle increment. We need to convert angle to radian. So float radians equal angle multiplied by math f. Now we need to calculate the x and y position of the button on the circle. So float x equal math f sin and radian multiplied by radius, as well float y equal math f cos radian radius. And now we need to control position and rotation. So rect transform, button, transform, buttons, get component, rect, transform. Okay, now we need to check if the rect transform exists before trying to use it. So if button transform is not null, then if so, we set buttons position based on the calculated x and y. So button transform anchored position equal new vector 2 and x y plus center offset. So we need to rotate the button so it faces outward. Button transform local hue angle equal new vector 3 minus angle. Now we loop through all the chilled objects of the buttons, and for each rect transform chilled in button transform we do this to keep default rotation. We don't need to rotate the icon or text with button rotation. So chilled but local hue angles equal new vector 3 and angle. So that's it. This script will allow us to create a circular selection menu without need of setting up manually in the editor. So we need to save the script and go back to Unity. Okay, now select the game manager. Now here we need to assign all buttons and we need to keep radius as it is for now. You can customize it as you like. So first of all, we need to lock the inspector. In the UI, we need to select all items and then drag in the buttons, and it's like so now. Now we have a circular menu. So here we can, for example, adjust the radius to match. So 216. For now, that's it for now. Next, we need to make clickable buttons. So if we hit play, all buttons are highlighted. When we hover the mouse, if we click, is selected. Okay, now we need to create item scripts. First, we need to add a UI image to display the selected item, and also we need a text to display the name. So right click, UI image, selected, and we can move it down. We can change the sprite. So in the sprite folder, I would like to choose this one. Now we need to add a text. Right click, text, name. We need to adjust position, justify text. We need to adjust the color and the size, overflow, and that's it. Let's remove this. Now in the script folder, open the item script. So first of all, we will need Unity Engine event systems. So, and using Unity Engine UI, then we need to add handlers. So I pointer enter handler, I pointer exit handler, and I pointer click handler. To fix this, we need to add public void on pointer enter pointer event data, and the first one is fixed. So also we need public void on pointer exit pointer event data, and for public void on pointer click pointer event data. We need to remove update, we don't need it. We will also need a method to select item and deselect item. So private void select item and private void deselect item. So we need some variables. So public string item name, public sprite icon, and we also need a string. So private string item name text equal name private string item preview equal selected. We need a reference for the text and the image. So private text item text private image item image. Then we need to keep track of the selected item. So private static item selected item. So in the start method, we need to check if there is any UI element. So if not string is null or empty, item name text, then game object text object equal game object find item name text. If text object is not null, so item text equal text object get component text, and then else debug log item name text not found with name plus item name text. Okay, now we need to check for the image. So if string is null or empty, item preview so game object image object equal game object find item preview. Then we check if image is not null. So if image object is not null and image item image equal image object get component image and else if no image is found, debug log no preview image found. Okay, now we need to set the on pointer enter. So let's go. So if we have a text component, we update it to show the hovered item's name. So if item name text, item text null, item text dot text equal item name. Same for the image component. So if we hover, we make sure the image is visible. So if item image null and then item image sprite equal item icon. And item, image, enabled, true. We enable the image when it's hovered. Now we need to set the on pointer exit, which will be kind of the same logic. So if there is a selected item, revert the UI to show its details. So if selected item isn't null, of course. So if item text isn't null, so item text equal selected item name. As well for the image. So if item image isn't null, so we show the selected item icon. So item image dot sprites equal selected item icon. Item image enabled true. We need to put this in here. Now we need else if item text is null, item text need to be, so we need to clear the text empty as well for the image. So we need to disable the image. We need to hide the image. So if item image null, item image not enabled equal false. And that's it for now. We need to select item on pointer click. So here just select item, and in the select item we need to check and deselect if there is any item selected. So if selected item null, selected item, deselect item. We need to also create this method. We will do it later. And then we need to set item as the new selected item. So selected item equal this. Now we need to update item details on the UI. So if item text is not null, item text equal item name. And we need to also preview the image. If item image not null, item image sprite equal item icon. Item image enabled true. So last part is deselecting item. So we need to deselect item. So if selected item equal this, if item text is not null, item text dot text equal empty, and same for the image. If image if item image is not null, then we need to hide the image. So item image enabled false, and that's it. Now we need to save the script and go back to Unity. Okay, now in each button we have item name and item icon. So first of all, we need to assign a sprite to each one. We need to select all and change icons to queen and knife shield, money, gold, pistol, and revolver. Okay, now for each button, we need to rename each one and add corresponding sprite to it. So item name, rifle, sprite, now whenever we hover on an item, it will show a name here and preview image here. So hit play. So rifle and so on. So that's it for this video. Make sure to subscribe and share this video with your friends. If you like our content and you feel our videos and tutorials are helpful, feel free to like and comment. Your feedback is important, so leave a feedback in the comment section. And thank you for watching.